What's up, everybody? You are now listening to From the East Side with Love. As always, it's your boy Kosher, and today we got some NBA news, some MMA news, some boxing news. Let's get into it. With the NBA, we had a trade happen earlier today, and that was Lonzo Ball to the Cavs. I'm going to bring that up shortly. Let's bring that up right now. Why don't we? So, the Cavs get Lonzo Ball, and the Bulls get Isaac Okoro, which, if you think about it, one healthy, and Lonzo finally did come back last season, later into the season, but did come back. That's a good bench player rotation. Obviously, Garland being the don't know where that came from. Being the starter, long day. So Alonzo, Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo, Garland. That's an interesting backcourt. And people think, hey, Lonzo healthy, top 15 point guard. So, how do y'all feel about the trade? The Bulls, I don't know. The Bulls are doing the Bulls, I guess. Kobe White, Josh Giddey. Giddey did do well over there. Seemed to revive his career. Didn't do so well in the Thunder. So yeah, how do y'all feel about Lonzo? That was an interesting trade. I think the Cavs did well for themselves right there. There was some controversy earlier with this kid and his agent. Now, if y'all can see the screen right now, this guy in this mink coat, with this funny look on his face, that Omar Cooper is Ace Bailey, the number 5 pick of the NBA draft, player who's going to the Utah Jazz, who supposedly needs to report to the Utah Jazz. He did end up reporting. I hear he ended up making it, but there was some controversy because he didn't want to play for the Jazz. I made that known. Yeah, so it was kind of weird. But this is his agent. Would you trust somebody that looks like this? Look at this guy right here, man. Having fun. I get it. Look at this guy, man. Omar Cooper, excuse me. Yeah. So, people feel like Ace is doomed between himself, his agent. Yeah, things ain't looking too good. But, love to know what y'all think. Do you feel like Ace is being spoiled? People feel like you gotta make the most of your opportunities. Whew. It's 2. I don't know what's up. And with Ace, kind of coming off like a spoiled brat, but it is true. Players can fear where they go, especially when they're highly touted. Usually when you're a highly touted player, you go to a bad team because bad teams need highly touted players to help turn around their franchise, right? Just the way things go. Except if you're Dallas, right? With Cooper Flag. But, yeah, Utah doesn't have anything to play for, really. And one of the worst teams on the West Coast, if not the whole NBA. So, unfortunately, going to teams like that could be hard to get out of the mud. And they can ruin your career. But at least you had a chance, too. Other people would die for that chance. So, is Ace Bailey doing too much? Or do you think it, I mean, obviously it's within his right to refuse, but again, he has reported, it looks like he will be there on Monday so they can prep for Summer League. The Jazz can prep for Summer League, so it is what it is. But yeah, there was a little controversy, will he hold up the team? But it seems like all is well. But hopefully this Omar Cooper guy can give him good advice, and we're not going to judge a book by its cover, right? Let's talk. There was a PFL card. Don't know too much about it, but I'm going to bring it up because it's right. It's MMA news. So that happened. Yeah, so there was MMA PFL card. If y'all into PFL, check that out. Earlier this week, UFC BJJ, they had just completed a season, I guess, but basically there's 3 champs now. Inaugural champs are here. Let's look for them. Where we at? This man Andrew Tackett. These are the 3 guys right here. Mikey Moose Messi. He's a bantamweight champ. Andrew Tackett, welterweight champ, and lightweight champ Carlos Henrique. So that's pretty cool. UFC trying to expand the sport of BJJ Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, they just had an event earlier this week. Now, some unfortunate news. The UFC PI in Mexico apparently on Friday got burnt. That seems like some extensive damage over there. It'll be interesting to see what Dana White does, and if they rebuild or how they rebuild or what caused this damage, the burning. That sucks, you know. You want companies to help out and put money into things like this to give people an opportunity, whether it's the workers there, whether it's the generations that are trying to learn, whether it's the future or the current. But it's kind of like an academy, kind of just helping build and educate. It could be a safe haven for people. So it's unfortunate what happened. Hopefully it wasn't out of malice. Hopefully it was just an accident, a freak accident or something. It wasn't targeted. Don't know if anybody got injured or hurt or any death. Hopefully not. Hopefully it was just structural damage, and just keep it at that. But it you know, again, unfortunate. UFC is trying to help establish themselves in these other places. Not that they're not established, but I want to say put out a good effort and put a good foot out there and just be more than entertainers. I think they want to actually help the different countries and develop fighters out of there. So I'm sure that kind of hurts Dana White and the staff to see this happen to their brand, but hopefully, as long as it was no ill will or it was just maybe a freak accident, hopefully it is. If it was, then, you know, that sucks too, because now you don't know if that's going to happen again if you put money into it. Yeah, so hopefully they figure it out and all's well that ends well on that part. So this is the next fight, the next card that's going to happen, but we're not going to talk about that yet. We're actually going to talk about UFC 317. And so this Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. I'll go to 318. They're going to move that fight. Talbot, which is Peyton Talbot, I don't want to say controversial, but popular in his own right. Yes, him and Frank Ocean are close. Pause, no homo. Don't know what's up with all that. But so he has some popularity to himself. He won his fight. Beneil Dariush won his fight. Pretty much controlled his fight. This Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. This was a good fight. One of the fight of the nights, actually. Van won, and he actually is calling his shot against the champ. And the champ accepted. So we'll see if the UFC will make that happen. Huge underdog at Van. They go against Pantoja. Pantoja was dominating Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France did not look good in this fight. This was a rematch. They fought earlier in the Dana White series. France could not overcome this fight either. Pantoja is looking really solid at flyweight at 125, and that's where obviously Mighty Mouse made his stake, made his claim as GOAT. But Pantoja is just taking over and taking everybody to school. So we'll see what Joshua Van has. But as much as he put on tonight, I think Pantoja is just on a different level. We also have, hey, look, again, Ilia Topuria is different, okay? I understood that when he knocked out Max Holloway. The Volk fight, I thought he caught Volk at a bad time. Because if I'm not mistaken, Islam had just head kicked him. So it was just like back-to-back L's. So I kind of give Volk a little bit of grace on that. Max was looking unstoppable. Knocked out Justin Gaethje. Obviously has one of the better hands in MMA boxing. So I was like, oh yeah, like this Ilia, like, come on, Max. Yeah, Max kind of got the worst end of the stick. Got his first knockout against Ilia. Ilia goes up in weight. Islam vacates the belt to go up to 170, so he's going up. Charles Oliveira, obviously the right person to go against, big former champ. And the thing about Oliveira, which I think I said it before in my last podcast, Oliveira is too chinny. He just gets caught. He got caught by Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje. Like, he just gets hit. And the guy Ilia Topuria, he could find your chin. And he found Charles Oliveira's chin early. Knocked him out in the first round. No mas. Nasty finish. 1-2. Ilia calls out Paddy the Baddy. I'm not necessarily a fan of that fight just yet. Arman wants to fight. He was a backup fighter. Justin Gaethje's contemplating retirement because he's like, hey man, I did what I was supposed to do. Give me the fight. Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria. That'd be a crazy fight. Arman feels like he can knock out Ilia. I don't know. But giving it to Paddy is kind of like, I understand they have some beef. They've been talking. Obviously Paddy went up to the cage and they had some words and Ilia pushed him and Ilia doesn't necessarily respect him. And that's a big card for Europeans. That's a big fight for Europeans. Paddy obviously being English, Topuria being Spanish. Maybe have that card in Europe. Or maybe that fight in Europe would be huge. But regardless, to say Ilia is basically on the cusp, if not the cusp, of being that star that the UFC needs. people are saying the greatest street fight win streak because he knocked out Volk, Max, and now Charles Oliveira. Again, I question the Volk fight and I question the Oliveira fight. I give him the legitimate Max Holloway. Max Holloway never gets knocked out, so that was that. The Volk fight, I kind of side-eye because I'm just like, again, we don't know how he's going to come back after the Islam. And Oliveira, unfortunately, dude, he always gets hit. And he is chinny. So, he's dangerous, but he's chinny. You can catch him. So, that to me was kind of like, But what do y'all think? Do you think it's the greatest 3-fight win streak? Double champ in a sense, 145, 155. How do you feel about that? Do you feel Ilia is the GOAT already? Do you feel like he's pound for pound the best? Do you feel like he's a superstar? I do think he's a superstar. I don't think he's the GOAT. I think he wants Islam for whatever reason. He feels like he can beat up Islam. I would like to see Islam versus Ilia. Not gonna hold you, but I guess we're gonna have to wait to see that fight because Islam's at 170 right now, and he's trying to get his hands on Madonna. So we're gonna see JDM. What else do I got? Oh yeah, Wilder. Deontay Wilder fought last night. That was pretty interesting. Got a 7th round TKO victory. So he's back in the win. His first win in like 2 or 3 years. So shout out to him. People think he needs him versus Joshua and cash out, man. Just cash out. I agree. I'd be amiss if I didn't say that Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. didn't happen. That also happened. I heard Jake Paul won unanimously. Look, Julio, it's almost a curse, unfortunately, when you're such a great athlete father and then your son doesn't even meet, or your seed doesn't meet half. I think Julio, although gifted in his own right, doesn't rep himself the best he could. And losing to Jake Paul is just another one of those, just not good. It's not good. I don't support it. It's unfortunate. Jake Paul is doing what he's supposed to do, though. So, if y'all into that, there's that. I know he puts on decent cards, or he tries to, and it's another opportunity for the boxing community. So there's that. So Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford had their, it doesn't say final face-off, but for the press conference with the 3-day tour, Riyadh, New York, here, Vegas, this was their final face-off right here. Again, the fight's still 2 months away. You still got July and August, so I think there should be more press, but we're gonna see. And Turkey's asking for fighters to come through, help fill out the card. So You guys have your opportunity. This one, Crawford was trying to establish a mental game, and Canelo was reserved, but he's confident, as Crawford is too. But I think Crawford was trying to win that mental, just get a win, and that goes a long way sometimes. So, these two are playing high IQ chess, and they both know what it takes to win. Obviously, Canelo's like, who's the elite fighters you fought? And Terrence Crawford's like, you're one of the elite fighters I want to fight. And it's true. I mean, I would think Canelo, it would be, and 2 weight classes up, will be Crawford's toughest fight yet. But it's the gamble, it's the risk you take to be great. And Crawford understands that. That's what makes this fight so compelling, so must-see TV, because of Crawford putting it all on the line and risking everything, trying to be a 3-division unifying weight champ. That's history in itself. So, yeah, I hope there's some more press conference to go along with this, and I hope I could be there to show y'all. But if not, this would have been the last one right here. Besides that, guys, I mean, it's a beautiful morning. If y'all, I've been twitching. I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been streaming on Twitch. You can find me at Kosher FTESWL. Also, you guys can find me on X, Kosher FTESWL. From the East Side with Love _ each word. Get at me. Whatever y'all got to say, whatever news, updates, whatever. I'm thankful for the follows. Been getting some follows. Been getting some people hitting me up. So definitely thankful for that. It's encouraging. If y'all want to play, let me know. I'm trying to get on this rematch, playing some Halo. I love Rainbow Six. But yeah, so again, trying to figure out this YouTube world. Appreciate all the support. If you guys have criticism, we'd love to hear it. If you guys have positivity, we'd love to hear it as well. I'm just trying to figure out stuff. So, as always, everybody, stay blessed, stay positive. We out. Peace.